to Unlocking Freedom in Nature and Art.
Hello, welcome, and happy new year. I am so excited for a fresh new start, a new year, out with the old and in with the new, right, Tammy?
Oh, exactly. And we're going to be reflecting on that and reflecting on our motto, which is inhale positivity and exhale possibilities. But first, we want to just welcome you here today and welcome you for this new year. And we are going to start answering questions, at least one question every time we have a Facebook Live. And this question came along this week, and it was, do you guys do coaching?
Along this week. Yes. So I love coaching. That is something that I was very passionate about when at the age and season where when I decided to go to school and just contribute with the community and society in a different way than being a full-time mom, which I loved. And this is something that I love in my life. I was always the wise one. I was always the one my friends in middle school, high school kind of ran to, and even moms for advice. And it's so fun to now do it officially and monetizing with my advice, right? And techniques that I learned with great mentors and schooling. And yes, the answer is yes, Tammy, right? Tammy was also encouraged to, with all her mentoring she's done and volunteering she's done, she and her business background and her experiences, some coaches encourage Tammy to actually coach. And that's what we each have done individually and are doing together. And that's, like Tammy said, if we're going to talk a little bit about our year in review, 2024, Tammy and I launch amazing coaching programs. And Tammy can tell you a little bit more about those.
Yeah, so we have some awesome coaching and mentoring programs, and there is a slight difference. But we also have group coaching, semi-group coaching, smaller and individual. But if you go onto our website, you're gonna see our different courses and our different programs. And like Lori said, we both have been actually coaching for a long time. But I wanted to say thank you and hello to Heather. It is great to see you.
Yes,
So,
welcome,
and
Heather.
I love your positive quotes you put on, Heather. So I appreciate that.
Ooh, Brenda just joined in.
Oh, and hi, Brenda. And thank
Mhm.
you also for your positive quotes. So it's so great to see you ladies here for the new year. And
Yes.
go ahead, Lori.
Yes, we have a great year planned. We have, of course, our adventures, retreat adventures. But before we tell you everything we have planned, we want to tell you that we're so grateful for you, our audience, our Facebook group members, because we couldn't do it without you guys, right? It will be just fun for Tammy and I to have great conversations with our guests, but it's even better when you engage, when you comment, when you tell us that you watch the recorded version of our show, when you comment, even when you watch it recorded, and even better when you're here live like Heather and Brenda. So we appreciate you. And part of our year in review is that we grew our group, right, Tammy? You
We
want to
did.
tell us the
And
number?
so, yeah, so we grew our group till it's over 477,
Yes.
which is amazing. And that's thanks to you, our audience. And we love having each and every one. I try to reach out to different people all the time. It's hard. Um, and and to be honest, we were both sick for the last month. So
Mhm.
if we didn't contact you and say Merry Christmas, we apologize. Um, but we were trying.
You know, we are apologizing because Tammy's apologizing because she's
I
that's
am.
the
I
kind of
over
person she is.
apologize.
But other than we were both hit hard with yucky stuff of the season, we also purposefully and intentionally took it off because honoring you and your time off and away with family and friends. And also we needed it. We needed like Steve Covey says, we need to sharpen the saw. And it's sad that we got sick, but at the same time, we want to lead by example, and also taking a little break is something we promote because it's self-care too. It is.
Yes, it is. And we also celebrated our 1 year anniversaries, which will be 2 years here. Is that April, February, April? So it'll be coming up. So we're excited about that. And also we had an awesome connection retreat, or actually it was mastermind here for back in September. And
In
Lori and
Idaho.
I met for the first time in person. So that was amazing. So we had a lot of amazing things. What did you guys, if you reflect back to last year, think of three amazing things that happened. Sometimes it's just those small things that help encourage us to move forward. Correct, Lori?
Yes. So our summary is of our three top things that we enjoyed from last year in review, which we encourage you to do that in your at a personal level, at a business level. But we increased our group for like plus 400 members, 477 to be exact. We had a great Idaho connection at adventure, mastermind adventure. It was so fun. One is coming up in July, so we want to invite you to put that in your calendar, check it out in our website. And we also had a great year anniversary of this talk show. I know it was very interactive. There were prizes, there were sponsors. I mean, it was so awesome. And those are our top three. I want you to comment, what was one of your breakthroughs, one of your things that you accomplished, whether that was a goal you set out to do or it just happened and you were like, wow, this happened and I never even imagined this was going to happen. And of course, we want to encourage you to think about an intention or a new identity you want for yourself, or a new goal you want for 2025. It's very important to have a purpose. And we're not going to talk, right, Tammy? We're not going to talk about goal setting. That is
Oh,
only
yeah.
very important. And we want to encourage you to do it however has worked for you, however you're learning and from other sources. And of course, we can help you through coaching if you need us to help you in setting out to conquer the new year with smart goals. But we are not going to do that today. Like Tammy
No.
said, we're moving on, and we hope to see your comments and your breakthroughs of last year, your year in review last year, and maybe new goals for next year. But today we want to talk to you about inhaling positivity and exhaling possibilities. What does that mean to you, Tammy?
So first I want to say hi to Eva.
Yay, Eva.
Thanks for being here. We love you. So when inhaling positivity, um, I mean, it's just for me, it's going out in nature, or it might be listening to music. In the morning, I mean, if you've talked to me or I'm leaving you a voice message, you can always hear like King and Country or some artist in the background, usually singing, if it's especially in the wintertime. Or I go outside and listen to the birds and let the sun shine down on me. But here right now, we have snow. So I did open the windows this morning to air the house out. And my husband's like, it's always freezing. But you know what? It's great because it gets those germs out also. So, but nothing is quite like fresh air when you're breathing it in. I don't know about you, but to me, those are positive things, or meditation or exercise. I mean, there's so many different ways. So when you inhale that positivity, it exhales possibilities. It helps when you start your day that way. I always started it off with prayer. But when you do that, have you ever noticed that you have a more relaxed day?
Yes.
It's less stressful than if you just jump right in. Sometimes if you just jump right in, it's a more hectic day. I don't know why, but it's kind of crazy. So, what
Yeah.
about you?
Yes, Tammy, you're so right about prayer. You're so right about music and those things that enhance our living. And I want to share something with you that there's a lot of negativity out there, and we have had experts and psychologists and coaches here that are extremely positive and that have overcome a lot of adversity in their lives. This is why we also love to call us as a group, we're warriors, we're entrepreneurs. But the warrior part is very important because I know all of us here have had a lot of adversity in their lives. I remember my dear friend Sandra, and I know Sandra Crook, and I know who many coaches, male coaches. Oh my goodness, the names don't come to my mind right now, but I know we've had amazing coaches. And why is it that we are so positive and we want to send this message out? Because there's already enough negativity. There's already enough people scarred with, oh, my parents' upbringing, and blame it on the rain. And it's true that we have fallen victim of certain things, certain people, certain ways that were not delivered to us in the best of our abilities. I am a parent myself. I don't want to hear my future, my offsprings, right, my children blaming everything, all their problems on me, right? That would be so horrible. And while each parent, we have done the best that we can with what we were given and with our ability during that time of raising. I always say I was growing up with my own children. My oldest is now 30, so now that means I am a 30-year-old parent, right? So I was developing and evolving with that child, and God gave me 8. So right now, hopefully, my 15-year-old has a better version of me from when that oldest one was 15. But this is why we need to inhale positivity in a way of um, understanding that no matter how much adversity we have in life, we're going to overcome those challenges because we are growing as we go, and we when we think of positivity and an outcome and what can I learn from this rather than why is this happening to me, then we become more productive in terms of solution driven people, and that's where possibilities come in. So please, I want to hear your your insights on this. What is inhaling positivity to you? What does that mean to you?
And hello, Trish. We just want to say welcome.
Yay.
Um, I was going to mention that a lot of times the people that are the kindest have gone through some of the worst things, more adverse. And we're not saying that there isn't people that have gone through abuse or you were reminding me, it's like a friend had found out has cancer and only has the doctors told him he has only a few months to live, But like I told him, I'm like, I was told when I was 22 that I wasn't going to live either because only God knows. But he has a kind soul. And so, of course, we're praying for him. And if you look at all the stuff that goes around, own your own mistakes. So many people blame everything on else. And it's like, yeah, we might have been abused, but it doesn't mean we have to live there. Stop living in your past and move on. You are responsible for everything today. You are responsible for your actions. I'll be sharing this quote later on today. It came up in my memories. A moment of patience in a moment of anger saves you 100 moments of regret. And the reason why I mention that is there was a couple horrible accidents. There was a bad wreck in November up here where a guy was impatient to get to an eye doctor's appointment, passed in a no passing zone, and hit a car head on, killing a 5-year-old girl.
Yeah.
And if he would have only said, no, my life or somebody else's life's not, it's not worth it. We need to have patience. So, because that was his choices. But we just need to think about those little things that you need to turn that anger into positivity, start thinking about, stop. Like you said, it's almost an entitlement. You almost feel some people getting like, oh, it's okay if I don't do this or if I think this way. We need to be positive. So I just lost Mary. So I'm sorry. So my moment there just kind of squirreled. But what I'm trying to say is we just need to be positive in our thinking and own our own problems and stop having so much anger inside of us. Because what you're seeing is it's moments of anger because they're running late. It's like if you're driving in traffic, how many times have people passed you or the lights turn red on every light? Seems like it's turning red when you're trying to get somewhere. But is it really worth us having all that anger? And that anger, when you're filled with anger, you get sick and it produces a negativity in you. So I guess that's where I was going with it was, people don't realize how important it is to have that positivity in you in order to be creative, in for all these possibilities around us. I hope that makes sense.
Absolutely, Tammy. I agree with you and I appreciate your insight right now. See, I don't know, something happened with technology. I disappeared. My
I
my
know.
my screen went all dark and
It did.
um
So I kind of squirreled there because I'm like looking at going, okay, I know.
I'm back. I'm back. And this is what we need to do. Smile. Smile and wave and just embrace the fact that, okay, technology is amazing until it's not. And then, okay, it's amazing again. So you are
It's much
totally right.
better to laugh, right? Than to get angry at something.
Yes.
So
And I know two examples of individuals that are very sad and terminal diagnosed either made them or broke them. One was an inspiration, and through his blog, he basically inspired I don't know, thousands of people because of the way he embraced that adversity, and it made him very soft and spiritually grow, appreciating life, appreciating those small things in life. And another person became bitter. So adversity, like you're saying, Tammy, makes us bitter or better, better persons, kinder people. And I'm gonna choose that one. I'm gonna choose to become better and to learn from adversity and opposition. It's like a diamond. It's like a sword. It's made out of in a furnace, right, with fire, metal, right? And this is where I want to emphasize, and this is the coaching in me, and then of course I'm gonna throw in all this, but phrases like I can't, or I'm not enough. I want you to think about that and maybe do a little experiment and know how and realize how that even physically affects you. I can't do it. This is too much. Why me? Okay, I'm not enough. Who do I think I am? I'm too old, too not knowledgeable. What are the excuses we come up with, and how do we feel if we do a body scan? Right. I was working on a project, and Tammy's gonna know about this project later on, but where I was going over some pictures of our connection adventure, and I just love it because we are loving nature, hiking in nature, and each of us took pictures of each other with the victory symbol, which is just two hands, and universally putting our hands up like this. If you see Olympians, when they race and get to the finish line, they do this automatically, which it forms a V for victory. And that victory pose, try that in front of a mirror after you say the negative stuff, after you catch yourself saying something negative. I'm too clumsy, I'm too this or unorganized, I'm too I am the queen of procrastination. Those negative identity or labels or phrases put us down, and it's not positivity. You need to inhale positivity with more positive things. I want you to write in the comments right now, what can you think of? How can you twist, flip the tortilla, the pancake, whatever you want, flip that rhetoric, change the channel on the things you do to yourself. You tell yourself with a self-talk and flip it. Instead of saying, I'm not enough, something like, hey, I am learning as I go. I want to learn this trade. I want to do my own podcast. And I am having a hard time listening to myself and my own voice, but I'm going to grow to love my voice because that's what I'm going to use to send my message out. We all went through it, right, Tammy? Like, oh, is that how I sound?
oh, and there's every day. A lot of times you have to tell yourself, but it's like for King's Country have a song called Priceless.
Yes, I love
You
that
just
one.
look in the mirror, and it's a beautiful song. If you're ever feeling down,
Oh,
it's a
yes.
great lift. Just those words will encourage you. And the other one is from Lauren Dangle.
The
That's
Gale. Mm-hmm.
you say, and it's like because in those two songs, given those are written in my book even, but I've also have encouraged other friends that are when they're going through downtimes to listen to those songs, and they are so, so encouraging. And Trish
Mhm.
wrote, I have so many reasons to be angry or broken, but I'm blessed by God's grace to have lifted and freed me from so much. So I cannot, I can be kind and be positive. I believe that is my purpose.
Yes.
Exactly.
hmm And right now,
Um,
Trish, with that comment right there, you're going to inspire and lighten up somebody's life. Right now, you're making me smile, and I love that. I know Renee's clapping, and then Eva is saying, yes, when we realize anger does not help anyone. Imagine what can you do with that energy? With that energy, I am sorry, if you dwell on it and stay in it, you're gonna waste it. I know we have to feel what we feel, and there's a time for us to feel angry and feel those emotions and let it out. But if you stay there, you're gonna stay stagnant. And imagine what can you do if you use that energy you're using to stay angry to do something good or better. So Eva is saying, when we realize anger does not help anyone, on the contrary, it is poisoning ourselves. That is totally, I agree with you, Eva. Learning to stop myself and repeat this, and it works, needs practice and patience, however, works. Yes. So saying something like, I am angry right now, but I am going to overcome this, and I'm going to learn from this, and I'm going to love instead of being angry. And you don't need to love the person or the thing you're angry about. It will be good, and it shows that you're a super amazing
you
person
can
and
hate their deeds or what they did to
what they
you,
did.
you know, and stuff. But what people forget is your anger not only affects you
Mm-hmm.
and your angry words, but it affects everyone else around you. So, how do you want to be remembered? I want you to think about that. I was thinking about this the other day because I've gone to, you guys have, I'm sure everybody's gone to some funerals or um, life, different celebration of life. Um, but this one person we went to, and it reminded me of my granddad. Not one person could say one negative thing, even afterwards, talking and stuff, because he was the kind of person that gave.
Mm-hmm.
Always had a smile on his face, was always positive, always trying to help others, always trying to inspire and to encourage. And one after one, every single person has said that about that person. And so it was nice because don't it's like, yeah, on the one point you don't care what somebody thinks, especially if they're negative, but at the same time you want to be known for being a kind person to where even the evil people can't even sit there
Mm.
and say those negative things about you because everybody knows that, hey, that's a lie because we've never seen her that way, and none of us are perfect by all means. But when we're positive and we're encouraging and we're inspiring, it not only affects everybody else around us, but it affects us. It helps us to be positive so that we can do more.
Definitely, definitely, Tammy. I remember going to a celebration of life too, and this grandma just had like five grandchildren, and they all felt like they were their favorite. No, I was her favorite one because she treated me this way. So how beautiful it is that each of them felt so special because I'm sure that was the effort she put into making them feel special and like her favorite all the time. So here it goes. I'm going to share with you, Tammy. How about let's share a little bit about how we can, if you don't think you're there yet, and believe me, part of being positive is believing that you will get there, is with some actionable exercises like daily affirmations. And it's not like I will have $1 million tomorrow. No, no, no. That's not the affirmations we're talking about. We're talking about those practical ones that you're going to believe, that you're going to twist around the negative ones instead of like, I'm clumsy. I'm like, hey, I'm going to work on my coordination more. Okay. So if you know there's a flaw or there's a something that's bugging you, bugging those around you. Oh, mom, you're so clumsy or whatever. Say, hey, I'm going to this year work on my coordination a little bit better, because then that's you're adapting that identity as a clumsy person, and you need to switch that around to a more positive one. I am working on my coordination, for example, something believable, something as if it's going to happen and it's already happening. Like, I am coordinated, I am organized, I am productive, I am an author that's yet to be published, but I am author. There's an author in me, and I'm going to work on my book. I am going to organize my time and be better at my time management right now. So those affirmations are amazing. And then journaling, especially saying things that you're grateful for, and just to breathe. Those are three I'm going to leave you with. The affirmations that are a little bit realistic, that you're going to believe because you're going to work towards those things. Gratitude journaling, and then just breathing, taking some time to just like we're saying, inhaling positivity, and then that so that you can exhale possibilities.
You know, one of the things we used to do when my girls were young and teenagers, if one of us said something negative, I'd make them put it on a note and that negative word and put it in a jar. It's like, get rid of that negativity, you know, and it's like if they had too much, and then you have a positive jar, you know, it's like when something's good, you know, sometimes put those things in a positive or journal, write them down, because sometimes when you're going through something bad or something that's just, you're just having one of those days, when you pull out that positive thing that happened, that blessing, or you go back through your journal and you read it, it helps give you more encouragement. You're like, oh, I did that. Kind of like when you see people post pictures of before and after on a diet. It shows how much they've grown, right? Or gone. A lot of times we don't even realize how much we've grown until we start reflecting and look back. So that's where, like Lori was saying, it's great to write down 10 or 20 goals. You can write down just one. And especially even for the day, I always write down at least 3 things that I want to get accomplished that done.
Mm-hmm.
Usually it's more like 10.
That's the danger. I was going to say, congratulations, Tammy.
But I try to do at least 3. And if I don't get the other ones done, they just go to the next day. You can't beat yourself up because things do happen in life that you have no control over. It's learning how to adjust with a positive attitude.
Definitely. Definitely. And Trish is definitely getting this. She's saying, good to have small steps, Lori, for those who may be overwhelmed or it's hard to be positive for them. Yes, I do understand that. I do understand that reprogramming is hard and it's difficult for so many people because as our friend Martin Alter, he was also a guest, he studied how our reptilian brain, when we're growing up, if we heard all this negativity, again, not blaming, whatever circumstances we were on, is just the way it happened, some facts. If we heard all the time negativity, yes, it's going to take intention, conscious effort to change that, right? To flip that or to change that channel. So yes, some small steps will help you accomplish the big hike, like we call it, right?
And that's where it comes in. You surround yourself around
your tribe
people that are positive, that are uplifting, that inspire you, because you become like the 5 people you spend most time with. And if they're negative all the time, guess what? You're not going to remain positive, you know, or you're going to be battling. But like Lori was also saying here, when you reflect in, because things, if you were abused in the past, somebody might say something that triggers that instantly, and it takes you back, and you might get angry and not even realizing it. But once you start realizing, oh, that's a trigger, how to overcome it, whether it's going out grounding or taking a time to take some deep breaths to get through it, or just walk away for a few minutes and then let them know if somebody said something to you that triggers something, that say, hey, that triggered, an emotion in me because it reminds me of this. You may not have, a lot of times people don't even think about the way their tones are, they're speaking, they're just
Mhm.
talking. Sometimes make it more than it is, and then sometimes we're not making enough. And there are people out there that will take advantage of us on that. You just walk away.
So I'm going to go a little bit at a different level here, almost
Okay.
virtual retreat level, almost VIP
Oh,
attendees retreat level. I
which we
want
have one of those coming up at the end of
coming
the month.
up, and Renee's
We'll be talking
watching.
about that here.
If you're still with us, Renee, this is awesome to have you here. And Renee is going to be our amazing guest speaker, talking to us and teaching us about body language.
Oh,
Please
which
don't.
I've had so many requests lately, like, oh, when is that? So you guys need to make sure we have those sign up forms on our
Yes.
website. But for the VIP session, we are charging for that.
Mm-hmm.
Eva's already registered and a few others, but we need you to go on there and register.
Yes, please. $47 for you to learn and grow. What an investment. Think about when was the last time you spent $47 and what was it for? Hey, no judgment. It's just evaluate and maybe your next 47 can be something transformative for you. But I want to guide you visualizing the life you want. And if it's not for 2025 and it's just for today, if it's not for today, it's for this week or for this month. And this is what I've been doing. I remember a very successful moment in my life was when I would once a month at the beginning of the month I created a vision board, and I am set to do that this year. Anyways, it's just my little special goal that I have. But whatever it is, it's just like, is it a method? Is it your life in general? Is it in a relationship? Is it laundry? As silly as it sounds, is it laundry? Like, can you work on maybe saying, okay, one load in, one load out, and it's going to be folded and put away? What difference can that make in your life if you set that goal? If you start with your chapter of the first book you're going to write, um, even the outline of how are the chapters going to be broken down into, and you have a clear idea of how to do it. What is it that you want in your life that you haven't gone after? Can you visualize that? And after you visualize that end goal, like we were talking about Olympians getting to the finish line, I want you to also think of the Olympians going over the hurdles and imagine, what is it going to stand in the way for you to accomplish that? And how is it that you're going to overcome it? Whether that's distractions and you're going to say, no, at least I'm going to write 15 minutes a day from Monday through Thursday, not even Friday. And Friday, I'm going to reward myself for having been consistent 4 days of the week for 15 minutes. See, small steps. We sometimes get discouraged at the beginning of the year. They say by January 15, people are already discouraged. It's because we set these goals. And this is why I like the visual of a ladder. Each of those, what are they called? The
Steps.
the rinds, or yeah, the things. Imagine if there's not 10 of those. How can you make that leap to safely go up that ladder? You're not going to. You're going to fall flat on your face or on your back. And that's why that ladders have all those things, those rings or whatever they're called, steps, right? For you to be able to go one step at a time. And each step, it's just going to get you closer to the goal. So I want you to visualize that goal, visualize the hurdles you're going to be able to overcome and how you're gonna overcome them, so that you break that fear of taking action, because all those little steps are very doable. But
They are.
if only that, you take it one step at a time.
So what's funny is I was talking to my grandsons over the holidays because they're planning. We bought them hiking stuff because that's what they want to do.
That's
That's
awesome.
their goal for 2025 is to go on hiking adventures. And one of our grandsons, he goes hunting and stuff all the time and is out in the outdoors every day because, well, they live on a farm. and the other two aren't. And so, but they've never gone on none of them have gone on overnight hiking adventures. So, we played bingo so where they could win all these prizes for hiking adventures where they're pots and pans, water filters, you name it. But like I told them, I'm like, you need to make a list because there's things that you need to do to prepare yourself. You each need to take a first aid class first because in case somebody gets hurt, you need to think of these preventative things, but it's all these small steps. And I'm like, and then you need to start walking on short distances.
Mhm.
And then you do half day hikes, and then you'll do a full day hikes. You're going to go further before you do the overnight because you need to make sure that you have everything you need in your pack and you know what you're going to experience, have an idea. And because they got their trail guides and stuff, I'm like, but there's little steps that you need to know before you go, kind of like if you start a fire, you don't, there's little steps that you do. And I know it's like Renee, there's rugged type of backpacking, there's all these different types of backpacking. But it doesn't matter what adventure we go on, there's always little steps that you must take. Even when you're going on an adventure with us, there's steps like filling out the form, right?
Absolutely. Checking it out, checking the dates, setting up it in your calendar, setting it as a goal.
Right. Because we're here as coaches and mentors to help you, to inspire you and to encourage you with all of our experiences. It was funny because I've been watching, you see all these things come up on Facebook about, all this nature there. And it's like, okay, I've lived in, as you know, Lori, I live in nature.
Yes.
And
She's
it's
the
like,
queen of hiking.
yeah, we
She's,
can give you a certification for anything that we teach, just so that you know, because some
yes.
people are into that. But to us, it comes so naturally, and we're here to help you and just to show you different ways to do different things. But all with inhaling positivity
Mhm.
so you get more possibilities, correct?
Absolutely. So we want to finish and starting to wrap it up with this. How can you stay positive with everything we've shared, Tammy and I? How can you stay positive when things go wrong? Or in a world where people see, it depends on the lenses you put on, right? People see things negative and wrong. How can you twist that? How can you make it a goal in your mind to think a little bit more positive? And how can nature and how can Tammy and I help you this year with those goals so that you can overcome stress and overwhelm, so that you can take those first steps on discovering your purpose if you don't know how to do it on your own? That's why Tammy and I are here. And we want to close by inviting you to, of course, we already mentioned it, that upcoming um, virtual retreat. I appreciate Eva. She posted it there. She posted it there. Thank you
Thank you,
so
Eva.
much.
I know it's good. And I'll be putting a new video on there too soon. So
That's awesome. So I want you to think about all these things, whatever insights you have, whatever we, with our words and our experiences, inspired you to do, or if there was a light that just came, and just share it with us. Share with the comments like Trish shared. And I know, Trish, you had to go. If you finish watching this recorded version of this, yes, tell us your comments on how is it that you're going to stay positive when things go wrong, and how can nature help with stress and overwhelm, and how can we help you in this journey? So
and when you're positive, you're going to have a better life.
mhm.
Everything around you is gonna look better, even in a negative world. Because if we're positive, it just changes light. We're not distorting truth. We are just looking at the positive sides of everything.
Yeah.
Um, Also, if you have any questions, be sure to message us or ask. And if everybody's asking the same question, we'll be bringing it up during our Facebook Lives. We do have a guest next week, and which we're excited for, but we are really excited about our virtual adventure, having Renee. So, because everybody needs to figure out a few of those body language signs when you're dealing with people, you know, and because some people they can be if they come off too nice, it's kind of sometimes is a red flag for me.
Yeah. Instead of being out of touch on people's body language and cues, yeah, it is so important to know some basics. And Renee's going to do that. He's going to explain us.
So the first hour is free with us.
Yes.
And Renee will be there a little bit too, talking. But then we have a whole VIP session with Renee. And of course, everything will be recorded. And so we'll be able to send you those recordings as well.
For the VIP. Yeah.
For the VIP. So we just want people to know that. But be sure you sign up. We do have a sign up form, and then I have another form to pay for the VIP. So
it's going to be great, and we're excited to kick the year off with that.
Right. And then I want you guys to start checking out all of our signature retreats and connection retreats, and of course, like and share. So we love it. Thank you so much for being here today. We appreciate you.
We'll see you next week with an amazing guest.
Bye, everyone. Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Have a great week.